The Migingo crisis has been very emotional for everyone and is threatening to become even more than a war of words. You've all heard what President Museveni said, but let's recap on what had been said before we got here.
Hey, Yawa. Let me tell you something. I was just fishing one day when I was grabbed by some Ugandans. They took away my clothes, my fish, and most importantly, Omera, the Rolex my late father Jatelo gave me. Imagine, I don't mind them taking away my fish, but my Rolex. Hey, Yawa, this Ugandans, Rarachanien, I can't fish around for a new Rolex. Hey, Kurumachan Rokmane, I need it back. Yawa, Omer, I need it back. Tafadhali. How will I be able to tell fishing time?
Tunataka kuambia wale wenzetu wa Uganda watoke kwa ardhi yetu, sivyo? Sisi hatutaki shida na wao. Lakini wao wanajua kwamba Migingo ni mali ya Kenya, sivyo? Samaki yule anapatikana Migingo ni sawa na samaki yule anapatikana Kampala, sivyo? Hata mimi mwenyewe wakati wa dictatorship ya rais mstaafu nilitorokea kwenda Uganda kupitia kisiwa cha Migingo. Donge.
We want to tell Museveni that Kenya will not cede an inch of its territory. Na kama haamini, watajua ya kuwa dawa ya moto ni nini, dawa ya railway ni nini, dawa ya mahindi ni nini, dawa ya mbolea ni nini, na dawa ya kupanda serikali mbaya ni nini, watajua ya kuwa.
Why are we wasting time with this issue? We should ask the people of Migingo who they want their president to be in 2012. If not, we can hold a referendum on the same and we shall get a clear verdict.
I have only one dear wife. Moja tu. Namjua. Kuna ingine.
Very decisive words there from His Excellency. Here to give us a speculative perspective on the issue is the man with the most ulcer-inducing job in Kenya, the spokesman of mystery himself, Dr. Alfred Mutua. And today, he is joined by his Ugandan counterpart here at our studio for a joint interview. Welcome, Mr. Fred Opolot.
Thanks, Jonah. It's my pleasure to be here.
Karibu, Dr. Mutua.
Thank you, Jonah. Mimi kama Alfred Mutua, ninajivunia kuwa Mkenya. And my friend here, Fred Opolot, najua, I'm very sure he's also proud being a Kenyan. The government would like to state categorically that Migingo Island is ours. This is being discussed at the highest level, and therefore there is no need of speculation from the members of the media. Watu wa media muache kuchokora serikali, muache. You have heard what His Excellency President Museveni said and what our dear President said on the matter.
Sebo, Ogambachi.
I know this issue has raised many questions and there has been anxiety and tension, especially over the Ugandan flag in Migingo and what President Museveni said. But let me assure you all Uganda has done is to make sure that there is law and order in Migingo. When we moved into Migingo, we did not see anybody's flag. So how can you blame us for putting up our flag?
But you cannot come into my house and raise your flag just because my flag is not flying. Well, if everything is all fine, why is it that Kibaki and Museveni had to meet?
Don't answer that question. Any more questions?
Yes. Okay, tell us, Mr. Opolot, has Uganda bought Migingo from Kenya? Do you know? Is there any way of knowing this?
No. Even Kampala itself, with all its glitter, was not bought from General Kero regime. Lieutenant General Yoweri Museveni simply walked in and captured it with the guns and the soldiers that NRA had. Why would he want to buy Migingo? Uganda does not pay for territory. That is our foreign policy.
Yes. Tell us, why is it that the Uganda security forces are harassing Kenyan fishermen and Kenyans living in Migingo? Sebo, why is that?
Jonah, that is not true. Ugandans are a good-natured people, very peaceful people.
Peaceful? Peaceful kitukani? Kama nyinyi ni peaceful, ni kwa nini mnaweka mabrigade huko Migingo? Mnafikiri sisi ndo tunanga mapreketia shenzi? Shenzi. Na huko Migingo tunaweza kuleta machinguro vijana kutoka hapa Kisii. Wanaweza kuwakanyaka nyinyi haraka sana. Wacha kucheza na sisi bwana. You are trying to joke with my intelligence. Ni changakani watu wa Uganda nyinyi mmekunywa. Yes. 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 Yes.
You can understand why emotions are running high on this Migingo issue. That's why we had to restrict Mr. Atwoli from appearing on the show as planned. You see? Otherwise, you'd have seen fire, Sibu. Fire, I tell you. Now tell us, how is it that His Excellency Museveni could use such a derogatory term in describing members of the Luo community?
No. President Museveni was totally misunderstood. Look, he said those Wajaluo are they Wajaluo. You Kenyans call them Wajaluo Jeuri. Why should it be a problem for Ugandans to call them Wajaluo?
But he called them those mad Wajaluo. Don't you think that's a little harsh?
The mad ones are those uprooting the Kenya-Uganda railway. Wale wananyoa reli. And those who are also uprooting the fish now around the Migingo, now the island itself now. The fish inside the water around the island. Those are the mad ones that President Museveni referred to. You people have a problem with security. I mean, that is why we have our soldiers in Migingo. And by the way, we can provide security to you up to Nakuru.
Well, it seems that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, eh? Lakini Waswahili husema, kwa nini tuandikie mate wakati wino upo? The cause of all this is the British Empire. Yes, they are the ones who created them bloody borders. Why don't we call the British High Commission and find out who exactly owns Migingo? But then again, why run to the British or the United Nations or colonialists or even the imperialists every time we have a problem? And that is why the XYZ team has come up with some pretty workable solutions to the Migingo crisis, which can even be replicated to sort out other African problems. Yes, we can. After all, this is an African problem and it requires an African solution.
To start with, we can solve the Migingo issue by doing what we do best, selling what is ours. We are quite sure that we will not lack the highest bidders for the island. From Libya to Qatar to Saudi Arabia, we should be able to make some sizable profit. The other way to solve this crisis is quite simple. Instead of using the millions for surveying this 1 acre rock of land, we can use the resource persons we have and simply divide the island into 2 equal parts. Or instead of starting a war like in many African countries and spending millions killing each other, we can use our weapons more wisely, more effectively and more productively. Or better still, we can just drain the water around Lake Victoria. That way, we will be able to clearly see where our borders are.
Makes me wonder, if next week Yoweri Kaguta Museveni turned round and claimed the rock, Migingo Island, and gave out the water and the fish to the Kenyan government, what would their response be? That's the thought for the week.
Remember to subscribe to XYZ's new YouTube channel on www.youtube.com/The XYZ Show Official.